So it's your man, your favorite jerk, and I'm here looking at this Kyn Kyan account. And I want to show you guys my views on how I would do some of the stuff that I believe he may or may not be doing wrong, and we can go back at this again later. But I want to show some stuff that I think he's neglecting and just some tutorial things that I feel we should be going over for some of the newer players. One, I think that paying attention to when you build a team, right, or build an account. If you're not a super mega ultra whale, right, like some of the Xursas out there or whatever, you want to look at what you want to do with your life. And what he's doing is obviously he's mostly AP, much like myself. We're all about the mages, right? So with that, what I feel you should be doing when it comes to your academy, right? You're going to want to build your AP first and your HP second, and then everything else just if you want to waste some resources before war. Same with your next tiers, right? Notice how his AP is generally always the highest, his HP is give or take the next, and then he fills in the resistances where he can when he wants to just waste resources. AD is obviously the lowest on every tier so far. The next one, same thing, hasn't even touched tier 3 AD. AP super high. Tier 4 hasn't touched AD. AP super high. And now it would be the complete opposite if you're working with physical teams, right? So those are all things you're going to want to look at that I think everyone should take care of. But then I want to talk about when it comes to like building an account. I don't think you need like all these crazy lineups, and you don't have to keep switching your heroes around into your fad heroes and heroes that everyone's saying that are just good heroes because some of the top guys started picking those heroes. So the easiest way I found to do that is if you actually just come in here and you just want to like look at lines, right? You go to your alliance war, and then we could just go to edit team and we'll adjust this and clear everything out. I probably could have did that in advance, and that would have been saved us a little bit of time on the video, but I mean it happens. So we're going to clear all this out, and what I want to say is I want to look at, right, every player should have at least 20 heroes. 20 heroes from top to bottom. What you want to do is you want to base at least 2 teams around whatever your primary is, which would probably be, in this case, we're going to say primary is your mages. So you're going to have 2 teams based around mages, and then your third team is going to be based around secondary. Now, the reason you do that is so that when it comes to the PvE events, kind of like when you come over here, like all of this stuff, the PvE stuff, right? Like your Sky City, your Crystal Spire, your Elite Dungeon, all that extra stuff. You're gonna wanna pay attention to that. So you're gonna need some physical also on the back end if you're gonna go magic. So that's the thing. So let's go back in here, and I didn't save this because I'm a noob, and that happens, right? So we'll go back to Alliance War. We'll go to Edit Team. We'll go to disband them all. It'll probably be way quicker that way, huh? Whatever. We'll even save it because he's new. He'll figure it out. So we're going to add troop, and we're going to look at things. So if you're going to start with 20 heroes, right, I believe 4 of them should be tanks, always, when it comes to building stuff. Notice there's only 2 tanks here built that are worth anything, and one of them is usually only good for PvE stuff. He's not really good at any of the PvP things. Vala is probably, in my opinion, his best tank. So there's that. And it might be, so 2 tanks that he has completed. Then I'm going to look at his supports. Now supports, I think you should have 4 supports as well. Okay, he's overcompensating a little bit. That's a thing. People do that. So he's got his supports in here, but he uses supports as damagers sometimes, much like Candy's a damager. He uses QNox to do a little damage, but still a little underdeveloped for what I would say a finished product would be. And then we're going to go to like his mages. Okay, he's got a bunch of mages finished out that are looking pretty good. He could build some pretty decent teams with these. Like, it's a thing. And then his marksman. What are marksmen, apparently? So we're looking at his marksman, and I've seen better marksmen on a VIP 0 account than this. So anyway, we're going to keep going, and we're going to look at it. So now we're going to build some teams, and we're going to figure out how we want to build teams. Obviously, everybody knows what he's doing on his arena teams, right? He's using the candy and just making it survive with a million other supports. Just let it live for days, right? We know that that's what he's working with. So we don't really need to see that. He's showed that off, and it's working for him very effectively in arena. But I'm not sure how well it's working for him on World Map or in Brawl. I really haven't talked to him about that too much. So we're going to look at stuff, and things that you want to look for is like patterns, stuff that you want to use. So you have your mages. We'll go to a marksman stuff, things that I think he should work on. And things that everyone should think about too is in the game, a lot of stuff that we're using, right? I'll even back out of this again real quick. A lot of the stuff we're using, like Crystal Spire, Sky City, we'll go to Sky City actually. Let's look at that. This is something that you're going to use to make all your heroes better, right? Sky City is really important to get you to get the rest of your heroes better, because you're just getting materials to help everything out. So with that, I want you to go in here and I want you to look at things that are consistent, right? Sure, Lucifer's consistent on this server. Well, that's a paid hero. We don't want to talk about paid heroes right now. We want to watch, like, just look at the top players and watch the things that are consistent all the way through all these. So Loyal Bibo, we see everybody's running the same team. We go to Malachi. Okay, everybody's running a little bit different stuff, right? It's a little different. We'll go to Lilith. Same thing. We're going to exclude Lucifer for now. Like, I don't expect people to spend money to play. And then we're going to look at Spar. Now, there's three, so let's go back to Bibo. Oh, look, York and Mira. You can get them from shops, right? You can get their soul stones from shops. Everyone can work them from level 1 to level 105 and not have an issue. Like, literally, it's just free to upgrade these two heroes. But then, oh, against Malachi, you have Mira and York. Those seem to be consistent. And then against Lilith, are we using Mira and York, those heroes that are really easy to upgrade, over and over again? And then Spar, we're using Aurora. Oh, wait. Aren't we using Aurora here as well? So we're literally just stacking heroes over and over again. Like, I refer to York and Mira as keystone heroes. Since I've been playing this game for about 5 years now, every time I start a new account, York and Mira are to be used because they just do so much in PvE. So much. You can't get away with not playing with these heroes because they're so good in so many ways and aspects. And when Aurora came out, she just plug and played all of that, right? So I would say that those are probably the keystone heroes to this game. You can't be successful without having those at some point. So we'll go back in here and we'll look at maybe building him a team that he needs to work on, and you know, we could check back on it next time, make him commit. So we're going to go to Alliance Wars again, and we'll just, you know, edit some teams, add troop, whatever. So we're going to look at things that work well together, right? So obviously, Mira needs to happen. York needs to happen. He needs to step that up. Now, with that, there's so many combos with these two heroes, right? Like, Coco is amazing. West has been proven to be a really good hero. Lufia, out of nowhere, is turning out to be a really good hero with her skin, especially when you get it to max. Then you have Brunhilde, obviously just a great hero, and we've established that he's not using this Aurora on any other team, so we'll put that down in there. We'll go back to Marksman, and there's just so many ways he could do it. Me personally, I like to try to help just speed everything up, or slow everything down. Like you got to pick a side to be on. And I don't really like his cannons build. Gears is probably the best free-to-play cannon. Blissa is pretty good. Little Red is really good with her skin as well because you have to kill her twice. And then Angelica, I haven't seen enough of her to know better. But we'll just keep looking around what we can find. But I think we can come up to tanks and look at Spar. Spar is Lone Dog. Spar changes the way the entire teams move, the enemy teams move, because they're trying to focus Spar because he's the tank in the front row, but when he ults and he spins around the team, it makes them change the direction of their attacks, so it makes everything a little bit smoother, and it's kind of interesting to do. And then the other thing I would do is I would put a second support in, and I know you're going to say that when I click on this rec that it's not a support hero, but really it kind of is. All it does is buff and take damage. Like, it doesn't do any damage. I don't know if it's a hero, like, it's just there to make Mira stay alive as fast as possible. Then you're not getting backstabbed by like smokes or the embarrassing Yuans or something like that, like whoever's still using that hero. I would play with something along these lines, and I think that this is a team that is feasible for every player. You're not going to be the best, but I guarantee if you just keep working these heroes over and over again, you'll be successful. Like, you just pick heroes to work and be successful. So you'd have, he's got his mages, whatever, so we'll just build a little minion team real quick and say that this could be a mage team for him, right? And we would try to use Merlin here, well, or Monk's Son if he had that ability. We could do something like that, and then we'd add in Savala with another mage build, and oh wait, I messed that up. Sorry. This is not supposed to be there. This is supposed to be there. Because this is supposed to be here. This is another build. So we could just say that he's got teams here, and he's got his tanks, and he's got his couple supports. So what do we have left that we should use? So we have 4 supports that we've dedicated to 3 teams. And we have his mages, a couple extra mages, some marksmen that everybody should be working on is Mira and York. It doesn't matter who you are or what level of game you are, how much money you spent on the game. Not working York and Mira is just wrong, in my opinion. Tanks, we got our 4 tanks dedicated like we had talked about, and our supports are dedicated. So now we probably want to throw in, because we're buffing a lot of AP and mages, we got a bunch of stuff we can throw in there. I don't know why he's not working this Vortex. Like, he's a mage account with a Vortex, and he's starting to work a Krabby. Like, they just go hand in hand. We need to have a talk with him about that. And then, you know, you got some of the other stuff in here. So he's got easily 20 heroes worked, but it's all the same stuff over and over again. Like, it's repetitive. So it's sure, it's gonna work to play what he's doing. Like, it'll keep him where he's at, but it won't help him progress. It's not getting him any extra stuff, in my opinion. For, like, don't look at this team. This isn't actually a team, it's just heroes. But it's not getting him anything higher than what he's doing. So in theory, like, he could probably have this account because he's using such free to play in the arena, right? Like, he's got 1 paid hero, and it's a 3-star that he's using on his current arena team, and he's competing with guys that are pretty high up, right? Like that's actually pretty respectable. He's sitting in there with the ranks like this. But it's almost a free to play at this point. Like, yeah, he's just got a 3-star QNox, which most people can grind into that, but he's put a lot of money into the game because he's lacking on some of the free stuff that the game offers, like a little known fact, especially with York, right? York, people forget, is a hero that I can, if I find the right shop, York. York Soulstone's Abyss Trap. Okay? You can do that. Now here's another crazy tidbit of information that most people don't know. That York is the only hero you can do this for. York, Soulstones, find. You can also sweep campaign stages for York and buy him out of the shop. And he's the only hero that you can... Is this available so we can show it? Yeah, it is. Request. Oh, look. York is also the only shop hero that you can request Soulstones for. He's so easy to upgrade. It's almost free. They give it to you. And with his new skin, like me preaching that to my alliance for so long, almost half of my alliance hasn't built, but now his skin has made him to the point where he's almost a tier 1 hero. Some of the big guys are starting to use it, like you saw in here. Like, it's being used to replace... it's being used against Malachi where minions are needed, and people are putting him in place of a Lotus, where Lotus is supposed to help against minions. So, because of his skin, he just became a tier 1 hero, or at least really close to it. Before, he was like a tier 3 hero, maybe. But, I mean, that's pretty much what I want to talk about. Let me know if there's any more questions that you want about the way I approach the game. Maybe I can get another video in next time. That's all I got, and I'm going to yell at your boy, Kyn Kyan.